Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, am I in order for a point of personal privilege?
You're in order, Senator McCoy.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise just to just really address a couple of issues. This was a fascinating discussion this morning. I watched with interest as the governor came back from his spring break trip and put an executive order together in 3 days and said the matter is resolved and stamped it and was done with it and expected this matter to be resolved. And had we stopped at that point, with all due respect, we never would have found out that the governor and his team, his legal team of Brenna Finley and Matt Hinch and Dave Roederer were lied to by the Director of Administrative Services. And so I think it's really important that when these things happen, that we respond, and we respond in a way that's thoughtful and is reflective of all of the issues that are being uncovered by the Oversight Committee. In fact, the legislation that was just referenced by Senator Shelgren and Senator Hatch, as Senator Hatch indicated, is woefully misguided and weak as it relates to the fact that we have a massive problem in state government. We have reclassified 315 employees who were merit to at-will, and as at-will employees, we have department heads of the Human Resource Department for state government that believes they no longer have to post any longer any of those ads, so they can, those vacancies, they can replace those people with their friends. They can replace those people with anybody they want to replace those people with. They don't have to post their vacancies. They don't have to prove up their candidates and question an applicant pool. You listened yesterday to the chief operating officer for the Department of Administrative Services who said, hey, we can hire whoever we want. These are at-will positions. We don't have to post anything. That's the way it works. These are at-will people. Well, I went to the code and I looked in the code and I found out he's absolutely correct. There's nothing in the House file that addresses that issue. So we're working on that issue. We're working on other issues related to procurement. The governor, through an executive order, eliminated the Vertical Infrastructure Committee, and 3 of those new employees that came in from the private sector at the recommendations of the attorney who engaged in the illegal confidential settlements for hush money. These were people that he recommended for the job, people that he worked with in business, and so ultimately these folks are making decisions on how all of the infrastructure dollars are spent. So this $22 million that the governor requested this year would go to this new committee of 3 people that were hired who were friends of the attorney who engaged in illegal conduct that came in from the private sector, will determine how $22 million is spent. And that's why we withdrew the $22 million in the appropriations process, because we didn't have confidence in that. We learned that the person that the governor appointed to chair the infrastructure committee, the person that the governor said, we want to put you in charge of the Vertical Infrastructure Committee. And what a plum job that is. And his first order of business was to move that the Vertical Infrastructure Committee be dissolved and no longer function as a decision-making body to determine how spending was in essence determined for all of our state infrastructure. So there are so many problems. I mean, we really believe that and I think we have over 10 pages of recommendations that have come out of the Infrastructure Committee. We could pass a bill We call that bill up today and we could pass it. But it doesn't do the job that needs to be done. There's much more work that needs to be done, and I, for one, don't want to be part of sweeping the problem under the rug. And I know everybody wants the problem to go away, and I know the governor wanted that executive order to be a panacea, a silver bullet to end the whole discussion. But the fact is that there's too much here to resolve, and it's going to take legislative work. It's going to take Republicans and Democrats working together. It's going to take a commitment from the House to also help on this same issues, and we're going to be working with the governor and his staff to the extent that they're willing to work with us to try to draft legislation that really truly addresses the needs of the Oversight Committee as it relates to the scandal that continues to unfold, and the more we learn, the more complex this legislation is going to have to be, and it's possible that we'll leave here with just a draft of what needs to be implemented, and more work will need to be done over the summer. But ultimately, our goal is to get it right when we do it, and make sure that we address all the issues that the Oversight Committee is uncovering. So our commitment, my commitment, I know I'm just speaking for myself, but I certainly believe that this is something we need to move on, but I think that we have a little time. We have 9 days have passed since the House passed their perfect bill, and we've already uncovered lots of other issues that we want to amend on to the House's bill. So let's continue to do some work. I think that we have time, and we need to be thoughtful, and we need to end up with a bill we're all proud of. Thank you.